Welcome back, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about really creative ways to get ahead of fraudsters on your website. Fraud is really challenging to handle, especially because there aren't a lot of investigatory tools out there to make fraud easy to identify, easy to spot, easy to track, and then prevent. I like to break fraud into a few different pieces, 3 pieces specifically. You have the identification or the detection, and then you have the investigation, and then you have the prevention. There are lots of tools that do a good job or a decent job of identification, and there are a lot of tools that do a good job of prevention once you've identified it. But the investigation piece in the middle is where we're going to talk today. And I'm going to take you through 5 specific metrics or groups of people that you can identify in Fullstory to keep track of, to know when there's less than desirable behavior taking place on your site. So let's dive in. So the first one I'm going to talk about is what I'm going to call script typers. So this is a segment of people, and you can create this segment for yourself, but basically you're looking for people who have changed anything on your site, typed into a field or anything like that. But strangely enough, these people have never clicked anything. So they've changed things on your site, but they've never actually clicked anything on your site. Now, you may say, hey, there's going to be some false positives in here. Yeah, that's why we have all of this session replay, and we'll give you a crystal clear, pixel perfect recreation of exactly what those users did so that you can differentiate between what's real and what's not real. But automatically pasting things into fields is a pretty common tactic by bad actors. The second one I'm going to talk about is what I'm going to call page surfer bots. So this is a group of people or group of robots that visit pages, but they visit 4 pages, at least 4 pages, and they do it relatively quickly in about 5 minutes. Strange thing is, these people never click anything. So they never click anything, which means they are navigating directly 5 separate times by changing the URL in the browser and never interacting with the page. It's a really strange behavior, and you can get a really good sense of how many less than ideal users are deploying scripting bots on your site to scrape pricing or to gather market research to then sell off to third parties. The third one I'm going to talk about has to do with page view surfers. So these are a group of bots that behave in a very specific way. They hit a lot of pages in a very short period of time. Time active on page, they are active for less than 8 seconds for every page they run into, and every single page they visit, they have to visit at least 20 pages. All of you e-commerce people out there, especially also flights, airlines. This is a great example. Third-party bot farms that deploy, they just run through a ton of pages on your website to gather all of the pricing information they can. They bundle all that up and they sell it off to third parties. The fourth one that I'm going to talk about is affiliate fraud tracker. We don't want to think that this happens, but it does happen. So here's the thing. This is a metric that is looking at a group of people. I'm going to call these people bouncers. These are people. This is a segment that I built where they have no activity on your site more than 10 seconds after their session starts, meaning these are 10-second long sessions. 10-second long sessions, and these people are bouncing, right? This is 10-second long sessions. They are bouncing, and we're going to group them by the UTM campaign. And what you'll see is that there are a massive number. You know what your conversion rate is off of your marketing campaigns, which means if you dial in a group of people who are hitting your site that are coming from a specific UTM campaign that perhaps you're paying a third party for, you'll find that every now and then you will have affiliates that are pushing tons and tons of fake traffic to your site just to make sure that their inflow rate looks attractive. Okay, so this is affiliate fraud. And then the third one has to do, and this is a really great feature inside Fullstory, a filter that a lot of people don't know exists. Every browser should have some type of a user agent. And that user agent is then derived into or boiled down to a specific type of browser. Every user agent can be turned into a specific browser. When Fullstory runs into a browser user agent that we cannot track back to a specific browser, we will give that browser an unknown user agent, or an unknown browser name. So Keep track of these people. Set alerts in Fullstory on unknown browsers. Unknown browsers tend to only come from people with bad intentions. They're deploying lots of bots. They're probably using a third-party open source scripting tool that is emulating a browser, and the user agent it's creating doesn't actually exist. So hopefully this has been helpful. Keep an eye out on your site. We'll do what we can from our side. Thanks so much.